cuts, eh?
Hey everybody, how's it going? You'll probably see a couple videos this week. I'm waiting for a massive storm. I'll let you guys know if we got hammered or not. The weather it was warm on Friday. Yesterday it was kind of overcast. Today I could feel the pressures dropping, and there's a major storm front just hammering Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba. Now we're on the edge of it. I don't know what we're gonna get, but skid steer's full of fuel. Truck's ready to rock and roll, and no problem, we're ready. Okay, today's video, this week I'm doing a couple of pipe tests, because I know people are interested in pipes. They're not for everybody. Some people don't like the noise, and some people have never tried a pipe, and I get a lot of feedback and commentary on pipes, and do they actually work? Is it just more noise? So this week I'm going to do a couple of pipe tests. Now, you guys all know this is Caleb's saw, the 460. This saw is getting ready to go out. Now, the last thing I want to do, I took it logging last Saturday. Although it looks like I'm logging in that video, I am logging, or, cutting timber, cutting firewood. I typically fall my timber. Most stuff laying on the ground here is poplar, and it's rotten and dead. So I was falling with this saw, but what I was actually doing, or doing as well as falling timber, was testing the saw. How does it cold start? Does it fire 2-3 pulls on choke? Does it fire in 1 or 2 pulls after I turn the choke off? Does it hold a tune all day? Or do I have to constantly play with it with the screwdriver? Now, all of these things matter to me, because this is going to be a work saw. I don't want to send my buddy a saw that needs to be tuned and runs too hot and just has oiling issues. I'm not that guy, friends. I am a super low production shop. Most of the stuff I build is just to show you guys on YouTube tips and tricks and just show you guys what I'm doing. Anyhow, friends, what I'm going to do in this video today, this is a Oregon EXJ full skip. I have filed this chain once. The rakers are at a hardwood setting. This is not an aggressive chain. It's a 32-inch Stihl ES bar. These are my favorite bars right now. I'm looking for a local supplier. Anybody in Manitoba know anybody that carries these locally? Otherwise, I'll have to drop Walkers a line and maybe get them to mail me a couple. But I'd like to run these predominantly on my saws. I like the rigidity of them and the weight. Running this bar is like running a short bar, pretty much a standard short bar. But anyhow, friends, today's video, I have, a piece of frozen elm. It's 16, 18 inches big. I want to do a couple of cuts straight through the log and then dogged in. And then what we'll do is we're going to come back to the tailgate here, and let's try this single pipe, okay, this little zoomy pipe, and let's see which one runs better. Now, one thing I want to do before we do that test, we're going to fuel it up, put some more of that good DGP oil in it. I want to look at the spark plug on this saw, because again, I ran this saw for a whole tank of fuel, or a tank and a half the other day, put some time on it. I just want to see what this pipe is doing with this muffler, because I want to make sure that it's not too open. Okay, I'm just going to bring you guys right in here. Let's take the air filter cover off. Let's see how much dust is in this air filter. Yep. Typical Stihl, friends. That's not a ton. Not the worst Stihl air filter I've ever seen, but it's definitely there. Okay, pull this baffle off. And now if I have the right wrench here, which I probably don't. Let's see if we can pull this boot off. Now, I'm not sure if this wrench is going to be long enough, and it's not. Look at my cutting bag. Okay, friends, I just got to find my Stihl scrunch. Okay, that's the first scrunch I ever had. I've had this scrunch for a long time. Okay, let's pull this out. Again, this is a brand new spark plug. I've put 3-4 tanks through this saw now. Okay, golden brown to tan. That's about as lean as I'd run this saw. And again, friends, this pipe, I'll show you guys the pipe again. This pipe is pretty wide open and she ain't running lean. So I want to show you guys things and you guys decide what's right for you. There you go. Now, I was running this thing crispy the other day, and by crispy I mean high jet, as lean as I could safely do. I do that sometimes because I want to make sure that my saw isn't going to do anything funny when, you know, if the end user leans it out a little too much. I want to make sure that the saw will tolerate it within reason, right? Don't go ragging on a saw if it blows up and you ran it way too lean. But again, I want to make sure that, there we go. Again, I'm not a Stihl guy, friends. I don't do that often. I want to make sure that this saw will run and just be reliable for him. And that's that. I did build this saw to pull a long bar. This saw is, how can I explain it? So you guys notice I don't race saws. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. And that is fun. I like to build my saws for longevity, reliability, and good power. Now, this saw makes a lot of power. It's not a slouch. Here, we're just gonna see if I can do this one-handed on video. I don't know if I like this spill-proof cap, friends. It's kind of a pain, and I tend to still spill with it. Okay, we'll put some fuel in here. This is 93 octane. What they call ethanol free, whether there's ethanol in there or not, I'm not sure, but I built this saw to pull a long bar, not run too hot. This saw's going to Houston, and I built it to be reliable for Caleb. Very similar. The first saw I ever sent him, I built on the channel, was an 044. Just gonna put a little more bar oil. I sent that 044 to Caleb years ago, and he's still running it. I want similar results. Now, this is an 046. This is going to have more power. And anyhow, let's go set up the test. I will pre-warm this saw chain. I'll show you guys the chain. There's our chain. Decent hook. Just a stock file run through there. Those are stock rakers. This is not an aggressive chain. These are set right at the hardwood setting. So there you guys go. One filing, and it's an Oregon EXJ Skip 63 gauge. Okay, friends, this thing started, warmed up, made a couple of little cuts. Let's check the crack on this thing. Can we hear a noticeable difference? By crack, I mean how fast does this thing spool up RPM? Okay, this pipe has nice crack. It could be a little crackier, but again, this pipe's very open. That's something I've noticed. Okay, I'm just gonna do a couple of cuts straight through and then we'll dog in and then we're gonna change pipes. chain, friends, but give her a good idea. Could you hear the saw changing RPM in the cut? That's because this is frozen. I gotta put this chain back on, friends. Okay, I put the chain back on. No damage to the chain. It is what it is. I'm gonna leave that in the video. Here's our little coyote pipe. I noticed my coating is coming off, so I might have to wire wheel this and give it another coat of paint for Caleb. And it happens sometimes. Here's the pipe that was on there. It's really short. It goes in, hits this wall, curves around, and then straight out. And you guys can see that pipe is open. But it seems to work. So now here's the second pipe. Again, I just welded this together quickly. This is about a 1-inch pipe on here. Okay, and it goes right like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna bolt this on and see what we got here. One thing I like about Stihls is they have metal exhaust gaskets, which helps when you're doing pipe testing, I find. They don't stick. Okay, put this back on here. Now, when you're making a pipe, it's really important to make sure that you can get it on and off easily. I've learned that the hard way. You'll make this incredible pipe, you get it all welded together, and then you go, oh, I can get this on and off of the saw if I take half the saw apart and turn my head sideways or make a special tool. I like pipes like this that just on and off, no problem. Just go. Now, if this pipe ends up being better, then this might be the pipe I send to Caleb. I want him to experience a pipe that works. Most people haven't. I never had. And then as I started playing with these, you get one that works, and it's like, wow. You can, every cut you make with the saw, you feel that it's just got more snap, and it almost shifts gears in the cut. Just breathes better. It's actually pretty incredible. Okay, just like that. Both of these pipes don't get in the way. They don't, you want to make sure it doesn't stick out too far past the dogs or not past the dogs. And just, make sure. Okay, see the distance there? Now, I actually shortened this pipe some from last time I ran it on this saw. I felt like it was a little bit too long and maybe too much back pressure. This thing's pretty wide open, but the diameter's smaller, okay? So when you're moving air in a conduit, a pipe, okay, it all matters. In the heating industry, we call it static pressure. I don't know what they call it in the porting industry, but it's probably the same. Static pressure is measured, the size of pipe and the length of pipe and how many bends in it equate to static pressure. So if you're, if you're trying to size this stuff, remember, it all matters. Okay, so this is a more restricted pipe, pretty much wide open. It hits this corner here. Some of it comes back, but let's try this out. Let's see if this pipe feels any better. Okay, friends, I don't think this thing's gonna need any tuning. I kind of checked it a little bit. Let's get this piece of wood out as far as I can. I only got what wood I got here, friends, so. Okay, I'll make a couple of cuts straight up and down, and then if we can, dog it in. See what this thing does. This pipe, friends, listen to it, it's snappier. It gets up and going way faster than the other pipe. It's a few days after the original footage. We did end up getting a winter rainstorm, which is super odd. It's been a weird winter. Got about an inch of ice on the ground. It was slippery and wet and just hard to drive around. Not too bad though, it all melted. Within a day or two, the highways were clear. Then we got another storm that rolled in and it smashed us. I had about a foot of snow in my yard. So that's what happened with that. It's super windy today. I was going to finish this video outside. We have like 50 mile an hour sustained winds, and it's an indoor shop work kind of day. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I just want to show you guys two different pipes and what you can actually do. These pipes couldn't be any different, okay? This one has more restriction. This one's pretty much wide open. Now notice, I didn't time the cuts. I wanted you guys to watch the whole video, and if you've gotten this far, thank you for hanging out and watching the whole video. I find often in the world we live in, you know, people do this a lot and flip. I catch myself doing it, flipping through shorts. I find a lot of times people ask questions on my videos that I've covered later on in the video. So to those of you that are still here, thank you for watching the whole video. I didn't time the cuts because I wanted you guys to just decide for yourself which one do you think runs better. Both of these pipes are acceptable, but I did an overlay. Okay, I want you guys to watch this. Left side is this pipe, right side is this pipe. Check this out. Same saw, same bar and chain, same day, same piece of wood. Check this out. Okay, so now you've seen the results. The first cut, this pipe actually beat this pipe. Now, I threw that in there because that was the only cut of the day that these were neck and neck, or this one won. Now, I think the reason for that is that pipe, that piece of wood, pipe, I got pipes on the brain. That piece of wood was frozen and full of ice, and you know, maybe that was a little bit of a skewed cut, but I left it in there just to show you guys that once in a while, maybe a pipe like this can edge out a pipe like this. But I did about 10 or 12 cuts with both of these pipes, 3 different pieces of elm. And other than that one cut, every cut that I did was about, you know, 30% faster, 25% faster. So the winner of this shootout is this wide open, I could see through it pipe that I made. This pipe has back pressure, but it breathes really well. The back pressure is here, and you can see if you look at the pipe, it's discolored here, and the reason for that is that's where the exhaust is hitting and creating heat. So this pipe, the back pressure is more this way, okay? So the back pressure is actually closer to the cylinder. So that serves my purposes. I just wanted to know, friends, I like both of these pipes. They both feel good on this saw, but this one, in a big cut, this one's just got more pull, and you can feel it. This saw with this pipe on it, it pulls hard in the wood, and that's what I wanted. Caleb may run a 36-inch bar on this. He does hardwood removals. I know what kind of wood he cuts, so I want to build him a saw that meets the full spectrum of what he does, and I think this is going to be the saw to do that. I've known him for years. He sends me videos all the time of tree work he's doing, so I know the fella, and I know what he likes and what he doesn't like. The beauty of that is he's been running one of my saws for 3 or 4 years, so I know what he likes and what he doesn't like. So, and that's the beauty, friends. The more porting you do, you can build a saw to suit the guy running it or gal running it. Anyhow, this is the clear winner, no doubt about it, and I just wanted to make sure. I want to send Caleb the best saw that he can get. So stay tuned this week. I got a box. I'm going to box this saw up and we'll mail it. I'll show you guys that. Not all of you are gonna ship saws, but when you do, it's important that you know what you're doing and you ship it properly, especially if you're going to cross the border. I usually ship in the United States, and when I do, half the time I'm shipping something to the United States, it's got to cross the border and it's inspected. I have to make sure that it's not leaking gas or oil or anything like that. So we're going to box this thing up and we'll mail it to Caleb this week. I hope he enjoys it. Every saw I build, friends, I hope the end user really likes it. If they don't, I understand, and I take their feedback and really file it. I really try not to get my back up if somebody doesn't like one of my saws. Because let's face it, friends, every builder builds a different saw. If you love what your builder does, who am I to say anything? You know what I mean? If your builder builds a saw that you like and it lasts long enough and it does the right things, they're a good builder. That's the long and the short of it for me. Anyhow, where does that leave this pipe? Well, funny story. This pipe works really well on my Dolmar 7300. And I'm also thinking it may work on my 044. So maybe we'll have to do some testing around that. But those smaller displacement saws actually like this pipe. So what does that tell you? Well, maybe a larger displacement saw can have a larger pipe that breathes more, and a smaller displacement saw can have a smaller pipe. That's kind of the ins and outs of it. Anyhow, friends, I'll stop flapping. Thanks for hanging out here, and I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm trying to show you complete different pipes and how they work. These both work, but this one works way better, like way better than this pipe. So this one's the winner of the day. Thanks for watching. Take her easy. I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.